So starting at the front of your mat in standing, feet hip width apart. Take a breath in, roll the shoulders up towards the ears, then relax them back down towards the hips. Your next breath in, reach those hands up towards the ceiling. On your out breath, bend the knees, fold from the hips, bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, come up to a half lift, straighten the legs, straighten the backs. On your out breath, bring the hands to the floor, place them onto the mat. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Hold it in plank for a breath. On your next out breath, drop down with the knees, untuck the toes, turn the creases of the elbows as you bring those elbows to graze the ribs as you release to the floor. Breath in, lift up through the chest. Breath out, bring that chest back to the thighs, tuck under with the toes, bring the chest back towards the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Your next breath in, raise the right leg. Bring the knee to the chest, drop the left knee to the floor and step your right foot through. Untuck the back toes, raise the arms up to our low lunge position. Then bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers at the bum, push the hands down towards that left leg, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift up through the chest, lift up through the gaze, lift up through the rib cage, but tuck that tailbone under and lift the lower belly up. One more breath here. Then bring the shoulders back over the hips, bring the hands to either side of that right foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Step the right foot back to meet the left, plank position. Then lift the hips and squeeze the heels back. Your next breath in, left leg lifts. Bring the knee to the chest. Drop down onto your right knee. Step your left foot through. Untuck the back toes, raise the arms, coming into low lunge. Then bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, push the hands down towards that right leg, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift up through the chest, the ribs, lift up through the lower belly, tuck the tailbone down. Create that expansion at the front of the chest. One more breath in this space. Then release the hands down either side of the left foot. Tuck your back toes under, lift the back knee, step your left foot back to meet the right into a plank position. Then start to lift up the hips. Maybe take a paddle of the feet as you get back to your down dog. Gaze in between the hands, step forward to the front of the mat and allow the body to fold over the legs, let go of the head. Next breath in, raise those hands up towards the ceiling, palms come together at the top. Bring the hands to the chest, hold it in that space for a breath. Release the hands down by the sides of the body. Next breath in, raise those hands back up to the ceiling. On your breath out, fold from the hips, bend the knees as much as you need to bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, straighten through the legs, bring the hands to the shins, straighten through the back. On your out breath, release the hands down to the floor, step back with your left foot, step back with your right foot, find plank position. Release to the floor, either dropping the knees or straight bodies, all the way to the mat. Untuck the toes, push into the hands, and lift up the chest. Release that chest back down, take a tuck of the toes, bring the chest back towards the thighs. Push into the hands, push into the feet, lift up the hips, squeeze the heels back into that downward facing dog space. Your next breath in, your right leg lifts. Bring that knee to the chest, drop the left knee to the floor and step your right foot through. Untuck the back toes, raise the arms up to our low lunge. Then let the arms come back to shoulder height. Bring your right arm under the left. Then bend the elbows, either find the back of the hands or find a wrap of the arms. Then lift the elbows up to shoulder height and then sink into the hips in this space. Trying to encourage the hips down towards that right heel. Lifting the elbows up as much as you can. Maybe gaze to that ceiling to challenge the balance. One more breath here. Then release the bind of the hands, bring them to the floor. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Step the right foot back to meet the left in a plank position. Then lift up the hips and squeeze the heels back. Your next breath in, your left leg lifts. We bring that knee to the chest. Come down onto the right knee, step your left foot through. Untuck the back toes, raise the arms first, find low lunge. Then bring the arms forward. This time your left elbow goes underneath your right, bend the elbows, find the back of the hands, or find the palms to find that double wrap. Lift the elbows and sink the hips, encouraging those hips towards that left heel. Pushing nice and strong into the feet, maybe gazing up to challenge that balance. Lifting those elbows as high as you can. One more breath in this space, breathing deeply. Then release the hands down either side of that left foot, tuck the back toes under, lift up the back knee, step the left foot back into plank. Lift the hips and squeeze those heels back. Take a gaze in between the hands, take a bend into the knees, step or jump to the front of the mat, and then allow that body to fold over those legs. Let go of the head. Breath in, raise those hands back up to the ceiling, palms together. On your out breath, bring the hands to the chest. Hold it in that space just for a breath. Release the hands down by the sides of the body. Your next breath in, raise the hands. On your out breath, fold from the hips, bend the knees as much as you need to bring the hands to the floor. Breath in, straighten the legs, straighten the back, hands to the shins. Breath out, place the hands to the floor, step back to plank. And then make your way down to the mat, either straight bodies or dropping the knees. Once you come to the floor, untuck the toes. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body, chin onto the mat, palms facing into the thighs. Breath in, lift up the chin, lift up the chest, squeeze the shoulders back, and those shoulder blades together, lift the hands. Maybe your choice here is to lift those feet to take it into that full bow position. Resting on that space of the upper thighs, the lower ribs, using the back muscles to lift that body, stretching that front chain of muscles as we lift up through the chest and up through the feet. One more breath here. Then release that chest back down. Bring the hands underneath the forehead, one hand stacked on top of the other, then the forehead on top of both. Push those hips into the mat. On your out breath, draw the belly back, lift the hands away from the floor and the elbows. In breath, release that head back down. Out breath, lift, squeeze through those back muscles. In breath, take it back down. One more, out breath, lift. In breath, take it back down. Bring the hands into cactus arms. On your in-breath, lift up with the hands, lift up with the elbows, lift up with the chest, lift up with the feet. Squeeze the glutes to lift those legs, point through the toes. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, strengthening through those back muscles if you're used to working at a desk. Really good thing to do so we're not always rolled over through that upper part of the spine and around that neck. One more breath here. Release the feet, release the hands, the chest. Bring the hands by the side of the chest. Bring the big toes together. And then bring those seats back towards the feet. The forehead to the mat. Just find that space of child's pose for a couple of breaths. Easy breaths in. Long breaths out. Then start to bring those shoulders over the hips, hands to the chest. Namaste.